Okay, let's take a look at some Tracer here. I've been working on consistency with Tracer here. I actually don't even know what rank this is, but this is another one of the coaching giveaway reviews. So big shout out to the Hot Doge for letting this review be public. And also thank you again to all the people who were able to take the time to take a look at the feedback form. So, okay, let's take a look at some Tracer here, and let's roll. So Tracer, off angle, pressure at the same time as your team. Gibraltar is a tough Tracer map, but it is a valuable Tracer map because one of the values of Tracer here is that cart itself can be an off angle. In other words, when the cart is this far split from the rest of the map, sometimes this happens on Hollywood as well, Dorado as well, being able to push cart if your team is pushing high ground is supremely valuable. If your team is on cart, then you can push high ground. So timing that pressure is going to be a little bit more difficult because the split of the composition, the split of the fight is going to be really, really broad. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so let's take a look. There's a little, well, I'll turn it down just a tad. So the fight's starting, going in the back line is good. Distracting two members of the enemy team. So I actually think this is a bit of a tragedy here. I know that you're like, oh, they're focusing me down, but really you're in a perfect position here. If you can utilize cover along this side here, maybe use cover along this side here, maybe even cover on this side here would be optimal, especially with the mini health pack. You need to and want to maintain pressure up on those squishies because that's what you're best at. If you abandon this high ground here, this BAP, Ash, Mercy are all going to be able to focus your team at the same time, and that's going to allow them to basically do more damage to your backline than you are doing to the Reinhardt and Mei. Because the problem here is as you drop, yes, now you're damaging the Reinhardt and Mei, but now everybody here is allowed to walk forward and they will do more damage than you. You see, it's the 1v1, 2v1, and 3v1 rule. If it's a 1v1, you win it. If it's a 2v1, you distract it and don't focus on necessarily securing a kill. If it's a 3v1 plus, just survive. Just live. Keep pressure on them. Your Genji is actually the real MVP here because he's the one still distracting, and that's why the Mei actually dies. Because everyone's distraction is on the Genji and not on pocketing the Mei. So this is there's nothing you really did here. You should have stayed here and keep pressure on squishies because that's what your hero is best at. You need to be careful, you need to play cover, but that's what your hero is best at. I want to point out one other thing as well. Check it. My guy deflects the coach gun onto the Batiste. I think. Maybe he just straight up falls off the map. I think he just straight up falls off the map. I gave him too much credit. Okay, let's keep going. So, good timing, good angle, but then you gave it up too soon instead of when they started to put focus on you. And instead, when they put focus on you, your goal should just be to do the same thing, just survive instead of focusing on getting the kill. Good angle, good timing, good pressure on the Mercy. I think you could honestly continue to pressure people from this high ground here. You could also drop around, which we were thinking about doing, and drop around and pressure from behind here. So let's just make a decision though. Yeah, there's too much downtime here. The fight is happening. You need to find. You could off angle on the Ryan, that's okay, but it'd probably be better to drop and try to pressure the squishies. A lot of nothing going on here though right now, and it's a nothing from a decent angle, but it's still nothing. So I think you're a little bit fortunate this fight works out for your team. And then obviously because you dropped onto your own backline, now when you push, you end up getting off angle and you get shot. So stay here, then drop from here, then you'll have better options. Okay, let's keep going. Good stick. Let's keep walking here. Nice. Okay. Take high ground because high ground will allow you the option to go for backline or to shoot them on high ground. This is too deep. This is really silly. The fight isn't starting yet. And if you wanted to set up the fight, going from high ground would give you more options than where you're at right now. You're kind of tanking here. You go in first, which then means your queen goes in afterwards, but you're already on the way out. That's the problem with tanking as Tracer. You're one of the best tanking DPSs in the game. In other words, you're going first as Tracer is great, right? Compared to other DPS, right? Because you're hard to force out, but it's still not as good as your tank going first because you don't have the survivability that a Queen or Matcha Reinhardt, Zarya, anything has. And so instead of you being on the off angle, now, after your Queen pushes, you've now gone first, gotten cleared out, then your Queen goes, and then now look at your positioning right now. You are one of, if not the worst DPS in the game in your current positioning right now. You can't be here. You got to be on an angle. You got to be on a flank. And if you are going to take an angle and flank on the floor like you did here, at least have the dignity to go after your queen starts to shoot or after their tank starts to engage on your team. You see, this is just a disaster. Highly recommend. This is why high ground's great, because it gives you the option to either take the 1v1 here or to go for the backliners like you saw here. I mean, you had that option up here, right? None of the backliners were peeking you, so you could have gone behind and dropped, but you didn't take it. And then now you're just sitting, shooting tank in front of a sim wall, and you're ultimately, you're really honestly being carried here right now. Your contribution has been almost next to nothing. It really has been next to nothing, honestly. Okay, so let's set up. I think the right flank here is good. The left flank is okay too, but it's a little bit more all in. So what I mean by the right flank is you could take this position here and then set up here, off angle from here, and then you can also deepen from here and wrap around to the flank here, or wrap with the flank here, or go all the way to the flank here, or heck, even go to the high ground, right? Whoops, wrong person. So you're frontlining here. You're going in by yourself. You're leading the charge. You're very fortunate that that worked out and that they didn't get the lamp in time. And then ultimately, this is still an angle, but then do you notice that the problems with this angle is that they back up, you no longer have an angle, where if you're in this position, if they back up, you can then just keep deepening your angle, and you still have an angle available to you. So I'm pleased that at least we went left, but then now we need to be going right. Go right. Go right. You messed it up. Go right. Don't peel off the queen. Control their backline. Right? Even though the queen is naded, I would rather you let your team follow up off of the nade, and you prevent the follow-up from the rest of the enemy team from an off-angle flank, which is what, again, your hero is best at, than for you to go backwards to the tank. Very rarely do you want to do that. There are exceptions to that rule. That one wasn't a terrible peel back situation, but it still doesn't justify it for me. So, ultimately, you've been... Honestly, if I'm playing for the enemy backline right now with that Kiriko Cassidy Baptiste, I forget that you've even existed this map. You've been almost, you've not been an annoyance, a gnat, an assassinator, an assassin. You've done nothing, right? Okay. Let's set up through right here. 1, 2, 3 if you need to even. 1, 2, 3. Don't stand here. There you go. But did you set up here because of the high noon or because you wanted to do this anyway? That's the key thing. You should, regardless of the high noon, you need to be here. Good, good. Keep them busy. Keep them busy. Keep them busy. Look at that. Look at that queen. Look how isolated that she is right now because of what you and your Genji have done. Look at how far back these squishies are. Keep them busy. Now you can shoot tank from the angle. Okay. Get them. Clean them up. Annoying turrets. And there you go. All right. Let's keep going. So I would like to see more quicker setting up of off angles, and then pressuring from those off angles onto things that are not tanks. Part of this was a bit of a map problem where I think you got stuck in angles that weren't very good because maybe you're just not very experienced. But honestly, we need to work at this a little bit. You're gonna die here. You're gonna die here. You need to get out of here. Okay. Now from here, this is the hard one. If your team takes a fight here, your best option is honestly to try and wrap around far right. Sorry. Your best option is probably to try and wrap around far right and maybe try to harass from here. This is like one of those tough situations where it's like, man, what do I do? Like, my team is fighting here, but there isn't really an off angle here. I would try to wrap around right, potentially, as your team pushes, or you could even push through left here, right? This is okay. Don't peel. Don't peel. Keep these guys busy. Take the 1v1 with Cassidy. Blink in here. Harass, distract. It's high risk, but you're at even higher risk right now. And case in point, you got sucked to a graph. You need to keep that BAP window busy so that they don't have to follow up, right? You're a flanker. Your mobility is your friend. So if you're playing like this, then you're not doing anything. Use that downtime if you get stuck in those positions to set up for next fight. All right. Wrap left now, because remember, that's your best flank for deepening. Yep. Was this because of the Cassidy there, or was this because you knew this is the best position to be? Good. Wrap deeper, deeper. Yep, deeper. Good. Use the cover to your left if you need to. Keep them distracted. There you go. No. Do not go back. Do not peel off your team. Go. I don't know why you go back and then you go back again. It's a habit we need to break. Don't peel off. Stay on the left side. Grab a mega if you need to. Don't be here. Ah, see? Random crap. She wasn't even aiming for you. She was not even aiming for you. And that's what happens, right? Your hero is not built for frontline pressure. When you have an assassin, you don't storm the beaches of Normandy with an assassin. You go around the side, you go around the flank, you take an angle, right? Even this here is like, obviously you're running, maybe you're a little bit low on time, but even this is still not, is a little bit too direct. It's not sneaky enough. It's not good enough when it comes to demonstrating what your hero's strengths are. Hold, distract, distort, disrupt, assassinate, duel, 1v1. Don't be on cart. If you can avoid it, don't be on cart by, in a big group fight, right? Maybe be on cart earlier if you're the only one pushing point, right? Because cart is itself an angle. But when the whole fight is breaking out, you need to be on the periphery, right? Don't be here, go left. Don't be here, go left. Don't be here, go left. Like, go here, right? This is where you'd angle, where you can still receive support and split the enemy attention. And then if the enemy team walks forward, yes, you pull their resources away from your backline. Good. Kind of hard to push here. We talked about that. Good. Risky, but good. Good. Widowmaker is a nice swap for you, right? Woo! You lost her. Ha! No! No! Okay, you scared me for a second there. You can also take the right flank out here now. Like, if your team is willing to stuff this choke, this is okay. You can live by running into their backline instead of into your own backline. So even where you're at right now is just not good, right? Too frontline. Very, very frontline. I would rather you commit on just letting them take space here or wrapping to this far flank here. You're cooked here. You see? You almost die. You have to lose your recall. Your positioning is still bad. Good target focus, good target priority. Losing people on the 180s is definitely something that you'll need to practice more mechanically. When you do tend to, and when you engage, you do tend to lose things. Do not peel the Zarya. Focus the Widow. Or the Lifeweaver even, or even the Baptiste. Everything is better than the Zarya here. Good. Maybe grab the Mega to your left. That would be a good move. Oh, you're cooked here. Oh, that's just a lazy pull. So you just kind of threw it in there. And you also lost your off angle as well instead of grabbing the Mega. You're not useful here. You need to find a different position. Wrap to the opposite side, maybe. Wrap to the opposite side. Don't be here. You could feel the lack of impact in these situations is tangible. Like, you can feel it. Like the how little your impact is in the front. Again, wrap around, right? They've got infrasites, run into the spawn, chase them around. Don't be here. Your Widow is carrying you so hard because she's basically body shotting everybody that engages on you. But you are playing with fire here. Oh, you see, you lose people in these 180s. That's something to keep in mind. Oh no, you're cooked. Oh no. Oh no. Do we win this one? Yes, we do. Okay, so mechanically, besides losing people in the awareness thing, your mechanics are not your biggest limiting factor. Your biggest problem is that you're not consistent on taking angles. When angles are hard, you don't take them. And then you also have a tendency to go back and peel instead of surviving and holding a position and controlling that space, keeping the backline busy. Even if it's a 2v1, it's a 3v1, you're not securing a kill. So it's tracer fundamentals. It's something that we talk about in almost every single tracer VOD review that we go over. But yeah, I hope this one makes sense. In terms of mechanics as well, I would also look to improve your ability to keep people on your awareness spectrum. When you actually get in close, you tend to have a tendency to kind of lose them very quickly. That's something to practice in deathmatch. I don't think if there's anything else here that stood out to me. Those are the big takeaways for me. So keep working out your tracer fundamentals. I think your timing was generally, for the most part, okay, but also your timing was pretty good because you're almost always inside of your team. So it's hard to mess up your timing when you're inside of your team. When you start to take more off angles, you're going to find that your timing is more of a limiting factor because it's harder when you're on the flank to know when's the right time to go. But that's still the direction that you want to be going. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, thank you for your feedback. Big shout out again to all the feedback folks for all their time, and we'll see you guys in the next feedback form.